My name is Emily Carter. And I need you to believe me when I say this. Some places are not meant to be found. Some truths are buried for a reason. And some villages should never be entered, no matter how badly you want answers. I didn't understand that before. I thought I was chasing a story. I thought I was doing my job. But what happened to me in Black Hollow was not journalism. It was survival. It started 3 weeks ago in New York City. I was working late at my office. The kind of night where the rain hits the window like restless fingers, and the streets below look like they are drowning in light. I was alone, scrolling through case files, half awake, half exhausted. Then my laptop pinged. A new email appeared on my screen. The subject line made my entire body go cold. Your father was not dead. I stared at it for a long time. My father, Daniel Carter, had supposedly died when I was 9 years old. A car accident, they told me, was kazi. Tragic, simple, final. But nothing about it had ever felt final in my heart. My hands trembled as I opened the email. There was no greeting. Name. Just a short message. If you want the truth about who your father really was, take the midnight train from London to Black Hollow. Comialon. Truth has a price. That was it. Nusinecha. No explanation. I read it again and again, hoping it would suddenly make sense. It didn't. It felt like someone had reached into my past and ripped it open. That night, I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw my father's face. The one memory I carried like a scar. The next morning, I booked a flight to London. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't even fully understand why I was going. Maybe because deep down, I had always known something was missing. London greeted me with cold air and grey skies. The city felt ancient, like it remembered secrets older than time. By evening, I was standing inside Paddington Station. Suitcase at my feet, heart beating too fast. The midnight train was already waiting. Its dark exterior looked almost unreal under the station lights, like something out of a nightmare dressed as steel. I stepped closer, reading the destination sign. Hallo. I swallowed hard and climbed aboard. The carriage was quiet. Only a few passengers sat, scattered across the rows. Faces hidden behind newspapers or sleep. I found an empty seat near the window and tried to breathe normally. This was crazy, I told myself. A random email. A strange village. A midnight train. But then again, my father. If there was even a chance he was alive, I couldn't ignore it. The doors were about to close when someone suddenly stepped inside at the last second. I noticed him immediately. Tall, wearing a black coat. Despite the mild weather. His face was pale, his eyes sharp, unsettled. He scanned the carriage, then looked straight at me. He walked down the aisle slowly and stopped beside my seat. Emily Carter, he said quietly. My blood turned to ice. Who are you? I asked. His voice dropped even lower. Don't go to Black Hollow. For a second I couldn't speak. How do you know where I'm going? He didn't answer. Instead he leaned closer. People disappear there, and the ones who come back are never the same. My throat tightened. Why are you telling me this? He hesitated, like he was fighting with himself. Because I survived, he finally said. Then the train jolted forward, pulling away from the station. The man straightened up, walked past me and disappeared into the next carriage. I sat frozen, unable to move. My mind screamed questions, but no answers came. The train moved through the darkness, the city lights fading behind us. Outside the window, the world became nothing but shadow, trees, empty fields, occasional distant lamps. Everything felt too quiet. I checked my phone. No signal. I tried to distract myself, but the air inside the carriage felt heavy, like it was pressing against my chest. About an hour passed. Maybe more. Time felt strange on that train. Then, without warning, the lights flickered, once, twice, and then they went out completely. Darkness swallowed everything. Passengers murmured in confusion. Someone laughed nervously. Then I heard it. A sound that didn't belong. A sharp gasp. And then a scream. The lights snapped back on. People were standing now, turning toward the back of the carriage. I got up slowly, heart hammering. I pushed past the seats, following the noise. At the far end, a man was lying on the floor. Blood spread beneath him like ink. Someone shouted for help. Another passenger backed away, shaking. I stared at the body, my stomach twisting violently. Then I saw something in his hand. A piece of paper, crumpled between his fingers. I don't know why I did it, but I stepped forward and took it. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely unfold it. 3 words were written in messy ink. Emily, run, now. My breath caught. The paper slipped from my fingers. This was not random. This was meant for me. I turned, panic rising fast. And then I saw him again. The man in the black coat. He was standing behind the crowd, watching me. His eyes locked onto mine. He pushed forward and grabbed my arm. Now you understand, he said. My voice broke. What is this? What is happening? He pulled me closer, lowering his voice. Your father was involved in something bigger than you. Que imagine. Bigger than London. Bigger than America. Bigger than you. Tears stung my eyes. My father is alive. The man hesitated. If he is, he's in Black Hollow. I stared at him, trembling. Who are you? He exhaled slowly. My name is Adrian Vale, and I was sent to stop you from going. Senbaiu. His jaw tightened. The same people who are waiting for you at the end of this line. The train continued forward as if nothing had happened. No police, no emergency stop, no announcement. Just darkness outside and silence inside. The passengers returned to their seats, pretending they hadn't seen a man die. That frightened me more than the murder itself. Finally, after what felt like hours, the train slowed. The brakes screeched softly. We arrived at a small station surrounded by fog and forest. The sign was old, rusted, but readable. Calo. My lungs tightened. Adrian leaned in. Whatever happens, don't trust anyone there. Not even yourself. The doors opened. Cold air rushed in. I stepped onto the platform, my shoes hitting wet stone. Rain was falling harder now, and the village beyond the station looked like a shadow in the mist. There were no crowds, no taxis, no welcoming lights, silence. Then I saw a car waiting near the exit. An old black vehicle, engine running. The driver lowered the window. Mis carter? He asked politely. My voice was small. Yes, please get in. We've been expecting you. My skin crawled. Who sent you? The driver smiled slightly. Your father. My heart stopped. I climbed into the back seat, hands clenched in my lap. The car pulled away from the station, driving into narrow roads lined with dead trees. The village appeared slowly through the fog. Houses stood in eerie stillness, windows dark, streets empty. It felt abandoned, yet I could sense something watching from behind the walls. The driver spoke again. In Black Hollow, questions are dangerous. I forced myself to ask anyway. Why Amalfieri? The driver didn't look at me. Because the truth doesn't stay buried forever. The car stopped in front of a large building. That looked older than the village itself. Its stone walls were cracked, covered in ivy. The entrance was open, as if it had been waiting. I stepped out. The rain soaked my hair instantly. I walked toward the doorway, each step heavier than the last. Inside, it was dark and cold. The air smelled like dust and something metallic. I turned back, but the driver was already gone. The door behind me shut with a loud echo. My heart raced. Then a voice came from the darkness ahead. Welcome home, Emily. I froze. A figure stepped forward, face hidden in shadow. I couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. The figure held up a familiar piece of paper. The same email message. The same words. You came for the truth, the voice said softly. Now you will pay at the price. And in that moment, I realized the worst part. I wasn't walking into a mystery. I was walking into something that already knew my name. Something that had been waiting for me my entire life. I stood frozen in the darkness. My heart pounding so loudly I could hear it in my ears. The figure Timavi closer. But I could feel their presence, like a weight pressing down on the air. The door behind me was sealed shut. And the silence inside that building was the kind of silence that feels alive. As if it is listening. I forced my voice out, barely above a whisper. Who are you? The figure stepped forward slowly, and for the first time, I saw his face. He was older, his skin lined with age and experience. But his eyes were sharp and familiar in a way that made my stomach twist. He gave a small, almost sympathetic smile. My name is Marcus Holle, he said. And you shouldn't have come here. I swallowed hard. You sent the email. Marcus nada djevd to know. Know what? I demanded. Know why your father was erased. Know why your entire life was built on a lie. The word lie hit me like a slap. My hands clenched. My father is alive, isn't he? Marcus's expression darkened. That depends on what you believe alive means. A cold chill ran through me. I took a step back. Where is he? Marcus lifted his hand slightly, pointing deeper into the building. Come. I hesitated. Every instinct screamed at me to run, but there was nowhere to run to. I followed him through a long corridor lit by dim lamps. The walls were covered in old photographs, newspaper clippings, and maps marked with red circles. I recognized cities across Europe, the UK and the United States, London, Paris, Berlin, New York, Washington, Rome. This wasn't just a village. This was something global. What is this place? I asked. Marcus didn't stop walking. Black Hollow is not a village, Emily. It is a door. A door to the truth, beneath the world you know. The corridor ended at a staircase leading down underground. The air grew colder as we descended. My footsteps echoed, and with each step, the feeling of dread became heavier. Finally, we reached a steel door. Marcus pressed his palm against a scanner. A soft beep sounded, and the door slid open. What I saw inside made me forget how to breathe. It was a laboratory. Not old or abandoned, but advanced, modern, humming with power. Screens glowed with data. People in black uniforms moved silently between machines. This hidden place beneath the village was alive. Marcus turned to me. "Welcome to Hollow Division." My voice cracked. "What is Hollow Division?" He looked at me carefully. "The organization your father tried to destroy." My blood turned to ice. "Destroy?" Marcus gestured toward one of the screens. Images appeared. Surveillance footage. A man walking through an airport. Another meeting with officials. Files labeled with names and numbers. "These are people who know too much," Marcus said. "Politicians, scientists, journalists, activists, people who threaten stability. Hollow Division removes them." I stared at him in disbelief. "Remove them? You mean kill them?" Marcus's eyes were calm, almost cold. Sometimes we erase them completely. New identities, new lives, or permanent silence. My stomach twisted violently. "And my father?" Marcus exhaled slowly. "Your father was one of us." The words hit me like a gunshot. "No," Marcus nodded. "Daniel Carter was one of our best agents. He worked across Europe, the UK, and America. He helped build this system." I shook my head, tears stinging my eyes. "That's not true. My father was a good man." Marcus's gaze sharpened. "Good and evil are stories. People tell themselves. Your father believed. He was protecting the world. Until he realized what Hollow Division truly was." My voice trembled, and then Marcus leaned closer. "Then he tried to expose us. He stole something from us. Something that could collapse everything." My heart raced. "What did he steal?" Marcus didn't answer immediately. Instead, he reached into his coat and pulled out a small object. A memory drive. He held it up between two fingers. This is why you are here." I stared at it. "Data, evidence, secrets." Marcus nodded. "Your father hid this drive before he disappeared. It contains names, operations, everything Hollow Division has done for decades. Governments would fall. Wars would start. The world would burn." My throat tightened. "Why show it to me?" Marcus's voice dropped lower. "Because Hollow Division has been searching for it for 15 years. And they know it's connected to you." My breathing stopped. "Connected to me?" Marcus's eyes locked onto mine. "Because, Emily, you are the key." I stumbled back. "What are you talking about?" Marcus's face was grim. "Your father didn't just hide the drive. He hid it inside the one place they would never search. Inside his daughter's life." I shook my head wildly. No, that's insane." Marcus lifted a tablet and tapped the screen. A file appeared. My name, Emily Carter. Birth records. DNA reports. Then one line that made my vision blur. Subject, is not biological human. I felt the world tilt. What is that? Marcus's voice was quiet. Emily, you were never just a child. Hollow division created you. My chest tightened painfully. Created, Marcus nodded. A project. Experiment. Your father helped design it, then regretted it. You were made to store information biologically. A living vault. My mind screamed. That was impossible. That couldn't be me. I backed away, shaking. I'm human. I'm here. Marcus's eyes softened for the first time. You are here. But you are more than human. The memory drive was never meant to be carried in a pocket. It was implanted into you when you were young, hidden in your mind, locked behind neurological barriers. My body went numb. I could barely stand. My father did this. Marcus's jaw tightened. Your father tried to save you. He faked his death, took you away from Hollow Division, gave you a normal life. But they never stopped watching. The truth slammed into me piece by piece. The Mayu, the train, the murder. They weren't random. They were closing in. My voice was barely a whisper. Where is he now? Marcus looked away. He's it. My heart leapt, alive. Marcus hesitated. Come with me. He led me through another corridor, deeper underground, until we reached a small room sealed with thick glass. Inside, sitting in a chair, was a man with grey hair and tired eyes. My breath stopped. Even after 15 years, even older, even broken. I knew him. Dad. The word escaped my lips like a prayer. The man slowly raised his head. His eyes met mine, and in them I saw pain, love, and regret all at once. Emily, he whispered. Tears flooded my face. I moved toward the glass, pressing my hand against it. They told me you were dead. His voice cracked. I know. I'm sorry. I tried to protect you. My hands trembled. Protect me from what? His expression tightened. From them, from what we created. From what you are. My chest heaved. Am I a weapon? His eyes filled with anguish. No, you are my daughter. But Hollow Division doesn't see you that way. They see you as property, as a vote, as the final piece of their control. I shook my head, sobbing. I don't understand any of this. My father leaned closer to the glass. Lisantononumi. Emily, the drive inside you contains everything. Names, crimes, proof. You can end Hollow Division. But once you unlock it, they will never stop chasing you. My voice was broken. Then what do I do? My father's eyes hardened with sudden determination. You run, you expose them. You finish what I couldn't. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the facility. Red lights flashed. Marcus cursed under his breath. They're 80. My stomach dropped. Who? Marcus grabbed my arm. Hollow Division's retrieval team. They know you've been brought down here. My father shouted from behind the glass. Emily, listen to me. There is a way out through the old tunnels. Marcus hesitated, then nodded. Follow me if you want to live. I looked at my father desperately. Come with me. His face shattered. I can't. They won't let me leave. You can. You have to. Tears streamed down my face. Love you. My father pressed his palm against the glass. I love you too. Now go. Marcus pulled me away as footsteps thundered in the corridors behind us. We ran through narrow tunnels, the air damp and suffocating. Voices shouted commands. Gunshots echoed. I stumbled, my lungs burning. Marcus pushed open a rusted hatch, revealing the outside forest beyond the village. Rain slammed down, cold and relentless. Go, Marcus shouted. Don't you stop me. What about you? I cried. Marcus's expression was grim. I'm already dead the moment they see I helped you. Emily, the only way this ends is if you expose the truth. He shoved something into my hand. A small device. This will unlock what's inside you. When you're ready. My hands shook as I clutched it. Marcus gave me one last look. Run. I turned and ran into the darkness of the forest. Branches tearing at my clothes, rain blinding my eyes. Behind me, Black Hollow roared with alarms and chaos. I didn't stop until dawn. When the sun finally rose, I collapsed on the side of an empty road, shaking uncontrollably. I was alone, but not truly alone, because inside me, buried deep, was the truth that could destroy an empire. And somewhere behind me, my father was still trapped in the place that should never have existed. I stared at the device in my hand. My life was no longer mine. My story was no longer just a story. It was a war. And Hollow Division had no idea what they had created. Because I wasn't just Emily Carter. I was the key. And I was about to unlock everything. Te haga yend.